Streaming on clickorlando.com, you're watching News 6 at 10 p.m.
Now on News 6, a substitute teacher accused of looking at porn and worse, just feet away from middle schoolers.
And two big weather stories tonight. We're tracking Melissa in the tropics. It could become a Cat 4. Plus, cooler weather is now in our own backyard. And new at 10 and only on 6, the restaurant whose roof collapsed on a woman and her child was warned it was dangerous. The citation's owner's face before it all happened. But we start now at 10 tonight with a child spotted running naked on an I-4 ramp. Police say an Uber Eats driver is under arrest for putting his tips ahead of a boy's safety. He reportedly told police he needed time to finish his delivery before checking on the child. Thank you for joining us. I'm Ginger Gabston.
And I'm Matt Austin. Now get this, that child was spotted by strangers running naked on the I-4 on-ramp from State Road 436. That's not far from Uptown, Altamont, and Cranes Roost Park. News 6's Troy Campbell found out after his passenger reported the boy missing. Police were kept waiting for an hour.
Altamont Springs police say several people called into 911 reporting that child running here near the westbound on-ramp for I-4 at State Road 436. Now, thankfully, we're told that child is okay. The call came into 911 last Thursday, just after 11 p.m. A child was running naked near I-4 and State Road 436. When officers arrived, two bystanders had chased down the boy, grabbed him off of the on-ramp, and got him to safety. Police say he appeared to be autistic and nonverbal. Now, at about the same time, 911 heard from a woman reporting a missing child, matching the boy's description. Investigators say she admits falling asleep for about 2 hours in the passenger seat of a car, driven by 35-year-old Jeremy Rouse, who was delivering for Uber Eats. When she woke up, the boy was not in his seat or the car. The report states Rouse claimed he didn't notice the child wasn't there. When the couple retraced their route, they reportedly noticed patrol vehicles where the child was found. Altamont Springs police say that's when the woman called into 911 herself. Altamont Springs police say the woman agreed to meet law enforcement here at this Walgreens to reunite with the child. However, officers say they waited for nearly an hour because Rouse, who was driving the vehicle, wanted to finish his Uber Eats delivery. Altamont Springs police say Rouse admitted to passing patrol vehicles, heading onto I-4, exiting Lee Road, and finishing his delivery because he didn't want to, quote, negatively affect his Uber Eats rating. It was only after the delivery when officers say Rouse got out and the woman drove to reunite with the child. And Rouse was arrested for child abuse because investigators say he chose to continue with his Uber Eats delivery despite knowing the child was missing. And again, thankfully, we're told the child is okay. In Altamont Springs, I'm your community correspondent, Troy Campbell, News 6.
Our other top story, the latest track on Tropical Storm Melissa. Still on track to become the first Caribbean hurricane of the season, and it could be a powerful one, too.
Meteorologist Jonathan Kegas is here pinpointing the path. And how can you feel that welcome cool down in the area?
And the two are going to be related here, keeping Florida safe, at least from the most direct impact. Certainly, I know outer bands can swing, and these things are going to be, this one's going to be big. But the cool downs will continue to help to keep most of the Florida Peninsula protected here. Melissa is still struggling tonight, and we are going to watch this go further west. Because of that, we've been talking about this really since last Friday, that the weaker this would be, the better opportunity it has to kind of push its way south of Jamaica, at least the core. I'm most concerned, though, over the next couple of days for the island of Jamaica, parts of Cuba, parts of Haiti, and the Cayman Islands as well. Still a 50-mile-per-hour storm. Look at the movement on that, 1 mile per hour as of 8 o'clock tonight. Look at the forecast, though. Again, a pretty aggressive forecast from the National Hurricane Center. There's really nothing stopping it. As long as it follows the projected path and it goes to the west like this, this is the most untapped, most fuel in the Atlantic Basin in terms of the water temperature and how deep that warm water goes. And also the upper levels of the atmosphere are pretty much pristine, so there's really nothing holding that back. For us, it is nice and quiet. The cold front slicing through South Florida. The temperatures are dropping a little bit. We'll take a look at that part of the forecast coming up at about 10:19.
See you then, Jonathan. Thank you. Developing tonight, some disturbing details about an Orange County substitute teacher now facing charges. Orlando police say the 27-year-old was looking at porn, and he was mere feet from the 7th grade students he was supposed to be teaching at the time. Now, this all happened at Howard Middle School. Your Orlando community correspondent Mike Valente has the arrest affidavit.
Police say they talked to several students who told detectives that they could not avoid seeing what was unfolding right before their eyes. And according to this arrest affidavit, these kids are 12 and 13 years old. This photo in the arrest affidavit shows just how close Orlando police say Daniel Huerta was sitting to the 7th graders he was assigned to teach on October 9th. Detectives claim that it was during their 7th period class that 4 students observed Huerta appear to be touching himself while looking at nude pictures on his phone. A 12-year-old student told the detective she saw Huerta put his hand inside his waistband and down inside his pants. A spokesperson with Orange County Public Schools tells News 6 that Huerta is not an employee, but rather was contracted through Kelly Education, a staffing agency. The director of public relations with Kelly says Huerta is no longer employed there, but did pass all screenings prior to getting hired. And she stressed that Kelly's screening procedures comply with the State Department of Education's rigorous standards and, quote, go beyond those standards to include comprehensive background and fingerprint checks. The OCPS spokesperson did say they let families know about the incident and that the district takes any allegations very seriously, adding that Huerta will not be substituting at any OCPS school.
Hi Daniel, this is Mike Valente with News 6.
We called Huerta and left a message, and no one answered the door when we went to the address listed on the affidavit. We also reached out to SeaWorld, where detectives claim he has another job. And we've been trying to get comment from his old employers, Disney, and the McAllen Independent School District in Texas. That's where he told a detective he used to work. And according to that detective, Huerta said he remembers seeing women in bikinis on his Instagram on the day in question, and claimed he was adjusting his pants because they were slim. Also, according to this affidavit, the 27-year-old Huerta handed over to police the shirt and pants that he was wearing on the day in question, with obvious evidence on them. Now, as you might imagine, there's a lot inside this affidavit that we cannot talk about on television, but if you are interested in learning more about these details, you can read the affidavit on our website, clickorlando.com. I'm your Orlando community correspondent reporting outside Howard Middle School, Mike Valente, News 6.
Developing tonight in Orange County, where deputies say they now know who murdered a 17-year-old last month, and their suspect is only 15 years old. So take a look. That's the mugshot for Tommy Legree Jr., arrested today, accused of shooting 17-year-old Jareel Huertas on September 26th. It happened on Keith Place off Silver Star Road. Huertas died a day later at the hospital. Legree is at the Juvenile Assessment Center now. He's charged with murder and possession of a gun by a minor. New at 10 tonight and only on News 6, we discovered state investigators found 15 violations at an Orlando restaurant.
That includes a repeated violation for the dining area ceiling. We told you here on News 6, part of that ceiling came crashing down on a local mom and her 2-year-old daughter earlier this month.
Now, the mother was sent to the hospital with injuries. Now we're hearing the 911 call from that night. Your Orlando community correspondent, Jarrell Baker, broke the story last month and discovered the repeat violation.
The front ceiling of the restaurant collapsed, and I think it hit a person.
We're now hearing the emergency call to Orange County Fire Rescue after part of Flyers Wings and Grill in Pine Hills collapsed on Deja Stover and her 2-year-old girl earlier this month. I discovered during the same week a complaint to the Department of Business and Professional Regulation brought out state inspectors who found 15 violations at the restaurant from missing floor and ceiling tiles, sanitary issues, and more, including a repeated violation for damaged ceiling in the dining room area. I spoke with her father, Torrance Stover, days after while Deja was recovering in the hospital.
Her neck is hurting real bad, her back. She sustained 4 staplers in her head. Cut laceration to her top of her head.
Stover says that Flyers remaining open while repairing the damage was neglecting what happened to his daughter. Now the family has hired a lawyer.
Are you worried about anybody else, something like that happening to them?
Yes, I am, and that's why I say I will advise people not to go in there until all that gets rectified.
In a previous statement, managers told us that the building has been inspected by the Orange County building inspector and was cleared to continue operating while making repairs to the damaged section. Orange County gave the restaurant this violation for the damaged ceiling, allowing them to remain open as long as they blocked off the section which fell. I stopped by the restaurant again and saw that the damage was repaired and people were eating in the booth where Deja was injured.
We saw that you all repaired the damage. Have you reached out to the family at all or done anything at this time?
The manager wasn't available at the time. We were told to send an email. We asked whether they'd fixed all the problems found in the inspection and if they plan to help with Deja's medical expenses. As soon as we get an answer, we'll let you know and follow up again. For now, I'm your Pine Hills community correspondent, Jarrell Baker.
A doorbell cam sounded an alert about an unexpected visitor.
One that left a local woman frightened.
It was terrifying. All night I kept looking out every time I heard my ring on because I'm like, is it still there?
What a bear was spotted doing outside her front door. She was safe inside, but her son had to wait to come home.
Earlier this summer, the state of Florida began cracking down on crosswalks painted with rainbows and other bright colors. Coming up, for the very first time, we reveal how much it cost one Central Florida county to repaint all of its crosswalks.
You're watching News 6 at 10, live on a Wednesday night, covering College Park, Daytona Beach, and all of Central Florida. Now on News 6, the cost of Florida's crosswalk crackdown earlier this summer. The state of Florida began repainting or demanding cities and counties to paint over crosswalks, rainbows, and other bright colors.
Yeah, transportation leaders say brightly colored crosswalks do not comply with new state rules. News 6 investigator Mike DeForest is telling us how much it costs taxpayers in Seminole County.
Earlier this summer, the state of Florida began cracking down on crosswalks painted with rainbows and other bright colors. Now, for the very first time, we're revealing how much it costs Seminole County to repaint its crosswalks. Until recently, this crosswalk right here was bright green. As this video produced by the county shows, the high visibility crossings were installed on county trails last year. The bright green color alerts drivers to pedestrians and bicyclists. But back in August, the Florida Department of Transportation sent this letter to Seminole County officials saying those green crosswalks were in violation of new state standards and had to be removed immediately. It was part of a statewide crackdown on crosswalks painted in rainbow and other non-compliant colors. So the day after Seminole County officials received this letter from FDOT, a county employee walked into this Sherwin-Williams here in Apopka to buy some paint. Receipts obtained by News 6 show he picked up several buckets of this black traffic marking paint, paying nearly $2,500. That county employee also stopped by this Lowe's here in Sanford. While at Lowe's, he grabbed 24 paint rollers, 24 extension poles, and 24 blue buckets. The very next day, which was a Saturday, county workers were out here putting black paint over the green crosswalks. Records obtained by News 6 reveal that 29 county workers, many earning overtime, were paid a total of more than $24,000. Add in supplies and other equipment, and records show the total cost to taxpayers was more than $31,000. Now, to be clear, that dollar amount is just a small drop in the bucket compared to Seminole County's overall $1 billion annual budget. But for the very first time, we're getting a sense of what other cities and counties are facing as they have to repaint their crosswalks. Mike DeForest, News 6.
All right, well, talk about an unwelcome guest. Late at night, a family in Gotha was met by a bear, and it was all captured on their doorbell camera at their front door.
So thankfully, they spotted it before anyone opened the door. They told your Orange County community correspondent, Lisa Hampton, about this wild encounter.
This family is used to seeing people on their doorbell camera. However, they saw something they never thought they would, a bear.
It's a sight I couldn't believe.
But Jolisa Pena's eyes were not deceiving her as a bear approached her front porch Sunday night.
Did it check out a flower pot? Is that what it was?
It was just smelling everything.
The unwelcome guest making itself familiar.
Started sniffing around. It came to the door, then started walking away. Came this way.
Jolisa only learned about the bear's movements after her son called her from the driveway, thankful he was not harmed.
My son was in the car waiting to come in, so he waited until the bear went and he just ran inside the house.
Grateful she did not let the dogs out as they saw why the bear was not snooping for honey in the woods.
Obviously, it was looking for food because the garbage cans were all on the ground.
I reached out to the state's FWC, who notes during the fall, bears are more active and may be more visible as they pass through areas while looking for food. To prevent them from going on your yard, they suggest removing or securing food sources like garbage, dumpsters, pet food, and even bird seeds.
It was terrifying. All night I kept looking out every time I heard my ring on because I'm like, is it still there?
Hoping the beartivities are long gone, but she's still looking over her shoulder and in the trees.
I'm hoping it is a one-time fluke.
Ironically, Jolisa has always wanted to see a bear, but just not like this.
We didn't see one over there when we were on vacation, and then I come here and there's one right in front of my door.
And officials with FWC say if bears come into your neighborhood, it's best not to feed them as they could lose their natural fear of people. And you want that bear to move on. Reporting, I'm your West Orange County community correspondent, Lisa Hampton.
That bear was in no hurry, just lumbering around.
And that bear wasn't hungry either, because it looks like it's eating gut.
He's eating just fine. Meteorologist Jonathan Kegis joins us now for a look at what's going on and how this tropical thing is getting steered away from us, right?
It is, yeah, for the most part, yeah. I think Southeast Florida just continues to watch this. Could have some outer bands as we get into the early stages of next week, but we are looking good from the tropical system. Cold front number 1 going to come through, and we have a couple of extra ones of these to slide on through to certainly close the Gulf and to likely steer this thing up and out of the Caribbean eventually after this meanders through the next couple of days in the Caribbean. Here's some of that drier air. Remember, dew point. It's the most important number for your comfort other than the temperature. And when we have the mid to upper 70s, that's what we have all summer long. That's that real nasty stuff. Look back towards Jacksonville, 57 right now. So that's on the drier side, certainly really dry as we get toward Atlanta and Nashville. That's some of the stuff that's pouring in behind the front. So tomorrow morning, it is going to feel much more comfortable. That's a live look outside with our light Orlando delivering hope. Skycam air temperatures back to the low 70s and remainly clear sky. The breeze out of the east at about 5 miles an hour. We're at 69 in Palm Coast, Leesburg. Good evening. We are at 72 degrees. Also that mark for us in Kissimmee. Back to celebration. we're back to around 71 also in Orlando. Now tomorrow morning, the 50s come back mid to upper 50s in Denellen, Ocala. We're at 62 degrees in the Villages. Holopah, we're at 65, 71 degrees for us in Melbourne, closer to Rockledge and Grant Valcaria. Tomorrow afternoon, maybe a few passing high clouds once we get to the afternoon. Otherwise, sunshine dominant. We're at 83 in the Villages. Palm Bay, we are at 84 degrees for you. Latest on Melissa, it is still struggling. This was to be expected. There's a lot of wind shear in the central and eastern Caribbean. The issue is the western Caribbean. That's where everything is prime. Look at the movement of this as it's in between steering currents right now. It's out of the west at 1 mile per hour, or it's moving west. Again, it's still disheveled. It's still being beat up by some wind shear. That's going to unfortunately change over the next couple of days. And you see it right here as we move forward, slow going over the next few days. By the time we get into Sunday, it takes off. We're talking going from a Category 1 to a major hurricane and then continuing to strengthen if it follows this path, which all likelihood it will because it's staying weak, so it goes a little bit further to the west. This is the area that is juiced with the energy from the very warm waters of the Caribbean. The upper levels of the atmosphere also very, very juiced as well, and that's going to allow it to really just warm things up a little bit and make this thing go pretty much potentially over that Category 4 forecast right now. 83 degrees on Friday is going to be nice and comfy here, guys. Upper 50s and lower 60s for your morning lows tomorrow and Friday. A little bit warmer getting into Saturday and Sunday, at least overnight. That's a result of some of the humidity coming back. Rain chances just going up a smidge getting into the early stages of next work week.
All right, Jonathan, thank you. Well, have you ever had a dessert that's almost too pretty to eat?
Nope.
I'm going to take you inside a must-try sweet shop. That's this week's I4 Food Tour. Next. She looks good. Today we're in an RV from Giant Recreation World, and I happen to have a sweet tooth. So we're going to the Glass Knife in Orlando. We are here at the Glass Knife in Winter Park, looking at the beautiful chocolate onyx. Chef Lauren here. Tell me about this thing.
So this is our chocolate onyx. This is our mousse-based pastry, and this is made with onyx coffee inside of the mousse, as well as a pastry cream coffee sphere that's in the center. And we got some salted caramel in there as well.
No, this is not Willy Wonka's factory. This is the Glass Knife in Winter Park, famous for their sweets. And why wouldn't they be?
This is the point in this segment in which we cut to a slow motion slicing of the onyx. Play some sexy music.
Yeah.
3 days. 3 days of someone's hard-earned labor has gone into making this beautiful pastry, the chocolate onyx. Let's give it a try. It's delicious. If you like chocolate and you like coffee, the marriage here is great. And there are all these little crispies on top. Look at the little crispies. They go deliciously with all of this. So that's where that coffee deliciousness is, right inside there. Oh yeah. Good little shortbread cookie on the bottom. If chocolate mousse and espresso had a baby, this would be the little toddler here, right here. You can't beat it. If you ever need a sugar high mixed with your caffeine rush, check out the glass knife. I'll be back very soon.
Sponsored by Giant Recreation World. Visit Giant Recreation World today.
Thanks for joining us. You can find all of tonight's stories, plus breaking news on News 6 Plus.
It's free to download to your smart TV or streaming device. Good night.